Good morning, everyone. This is Nicole again, and we are getting closer and closer to the big unveil inside Sudowrite and what will be officially the new story engine called Story Bible. So if you have attended any of my Sudowrite classes in the past month, you've heard me talk about the new user interface and give you some ideas of what it will look like. I wasn't able to share screenshots or anything at the time because the design was still under wraps because it could change. As of yesterday, some of us now have access to the new user interface, and I wanted to show it to y'all so y'all aren't quite as shocked whenever you see it in your own Sudowrite account. And I did do a private Zoom on this yesterday with several people. The response so far is pretty positive. There were a couple of bugs that we found. We were lucky enough that a couple of the Sudowrite staff was able to hop on with us and answer questions and look at things. So they noted the bugs and they got to work on fixing them right away. As a matter of fact, one of the bugs I was going to show y'all has already been fixed since last night. And that was the fact that if you clicked on this, it used to bring you back to the old story engine. So now when we click on things, it is going to take us to the actual new story Bible. So you can do it either way, just like with the old story engine. Click on your little icon or here. I am kind of curious. I'm wondering if they're going to keep this icon because its purpose was to bring us directly to story engine without us having to click into the project and then click story engine in the left panel. That is no longer an issue because Sudowrite has combined them and put everything here in this panel. So now whenever we click into the project, it's right there. So this story Bible is Story Engine. It's just a new name for it for right now. They said they do have plans for this to become an actual full-fledged story Bible that authors are used to, but that is still a process in the works. As of right now, it is simply the new name for Story Engine. So you can see I have it toggled off right here. And this is just a dock in my left pane. And if I scroll down, it's just the dock there and that's it. It ends. No more scrolling. This box right here is going to be your beats and prose. This little typewriter icon gets rid of that. So let's say I've generated my story or that chapter and I just want to work on this in peace without seeing all that there. I can turn that off and just focus on doing some rewrites, describe whatever I need to do with this scene. This is actually my opening scene from my book that I just published, and honestly, I love it. So I'm not going to mess with that one. Before we dive into turning Story Bible on, I just want to show you a couple of other features. So we have the focus modes. So you can get rid of all of these. That gets rid of the clutter. You can actually expand if you're old like me and you like that big screen so you can easily see everything. Get all of these back for y'all. The history button, this shouldn't have a history. Oh, it does. Not much of one, just some little formatting changes. So that is your doc history right here. Whenever you open it for the first time, first of all, you're going to see a pop-up. I did screenshot that, but it was on my other computer, so I apologize. Nothing major. It was just saying, hey, Story Bible's here. And this will be released. They're expecting 2 weeks, could be 3 weeks. They just still got to iron out the final bugs and everything that we find as we start testing this. But y'all should have it in a couple of weeks. But these right here, anything that says Story Engine and has your chapter, those are the docs brought in from the old version of Story Engine. So you don't have to worry about going in there and copying over all your stuff. It's going to be carried over for you. Let me turn this back on. So there's my beats and everything for that chapter. And I'm going to turn Story Engine on. or Story Bible. It's going to take a while to get used to call it that. So now you can kind of see the differences. And this is on. Now I can easily jump into any of these categories right here. And with it toggled on, anytime you are in one of these docs, now when you scroll down, instead of just ending, it'll start flowing into your Story Bible content. A couple of things to note. So first of all, the boxes themselves still work the same way. So here is your history box for your beats. All your history right here. And you will get your thumbs up and down icons again. So as soon as you're done with your beats and ready to start, it'll be like the old story engine, and you pick your model and your prose will be generated under here. Something to keep in mind, sorry for all the scrolling. Let's say you're one of the people that likes to generate in all of the models and kit bash it later. Put a new doc over here for each of that version's chapter or chapter's version over here. So generate most accurate, create a new doc right here. This is chapter 7. So we would create another chapter 7. Copy over the beats if you need to from the other, and then proceed with doing your most accurate and everything. I'm sorry, our best, prose, or fastest, whichever one you wanted to do. And I say that because as of right now, if you were in this, you have your prose already. And so if you generate another one, it's just going to overwrite this one. And yeah, you can find your history up here. But I would prefer to have a different chapter because I do a lot of kit bashing. So I need them all separate. Let's scroll. Okay, so this is one navigation doc right here where you will add things from your chapters, your Story Bible chapters, or you can do a blank doc for something else. Like say you wanted to have some world building information here, or if you're like me and like to keep your prompts here. So that's one method of navigation. The other is all the way at the bottom, which I won't scroll through right now, but we'll do that in a minute. This is one of the things we were talking to the developers about yesterday. This is not a regular navigation panel. So look at this. Okay, so this is Story Engine Chapter 7, right? And you will see my chapter summary. Let's just, a wolf from the forest pack delivers a message. That's this chapter summary, right? I actually don't think I have all of these chapters filled out, but let me just grab one. Oh, that was a dirty one. Okay. They're all kind of dirty. So you can see how this stayed Story Engine Chapter 7, yet the summary changed. Because this was Chapter 7's. And we can see the beats stay the same. They explained their thinking in this. I didn't understand it, but another attendee of the Zoom did. And she was helping explain it to me, but I just still didn't think this is a good idea. So they are going to do some modifications to this. I don't know what they've decided. I don't know if they will move this button or if they will rename it or have like some sort of pop-up. Somebody suggested that when you go to click into another chapter, it's going to say, hey, you're on chapter 7, but you're clicking into chapter 5. Do you really want to do this? So that is a work in progress. And again, you can get rid of this, have your prose to work on. So everything is pretty much the same as far as how it works, just some new navigation tips. So let's do a new story real quick. Just create a brand new one. I'm going to turn Story Bible on. And then I would just go through this like I would a regular story engine. I'm just sticking with horror because it's October, so. Okay, I'm just going to put something I want to show y'all in case anybody is new here. Okay, so we have 6 words, correct? It's saying 6 out of 40 words. If I remove those hyphens that I put in there, we now have 8. So that is a little trick if you're new to using Story Engine, Story Bible. If you need room for just a few more words, just put those hyphens in between. I have actually overloaded the box. It was ridiculous. I think I probably had 100-something words in there easily. But with all of the hyphens I put, it was around 27 according to the counter. That's not necessarily a good thing, y'all. I was just playing around, experimenting, and having fun with it. Let's generate our synopsis from that brain dump. So we've kept everything simple. Normally, I try to max out my boxes, all of them, especially if this is a story that I really want to publish, that I have a good idea of everything I want to happen. My goal is always to max out the boxes. So we're just going to do a collection of 12 horror short stories and some brief styles. And then it did all of our horror stories right here. Let's make sure we got 12. Yep, it did 12. So it's listening really good right now. Now, if I were doing these actual short stories right here, I would not actually generate characters in this box. Instead, I would do them inside ChatGPT because we're going to go ahead and generate the characters, but it's not going to have enough characters if I want different characters for each of these stories. It's just not going to have enough room right here. So that's something I do differently when I do my short stories, is I bring in the characters. So I'll copy in whatever characters apply for that story. I'm going to grab my prompt here. We were playing around with it yesterday. We noticed we had to do some rewording. So I want to see how this one works. And so we have a young girl, and it's giving some ages, approximate ages for the others. Oh, wow. Okay, so this is new. I actually usually prompt for this. This is really neat. Sorry, I need to take a screenshot of this for my author friend. That is neat. And you'll see your thumbs down, thumbs up right here. So I like this. If this is a permanent change, I will be very happy, but we need just a little bit more. Let's try this again. Okay, I think they gave ages, so I don't need that. Actually got the physical descriptions. I need that. Like I said, we had to reword this. Okay, so I'm just going to ask it to rewrite, give the main characters attributes, strengths, and weaknesses, list their motivation, their flaws. I like using Enneagram types. Story Bible does recognize Myers-Briggs and Clifton strengths and some others. So feel free to use what you're comfortable with. And I asked it to describe their speaking style. And then this is what surprised me here with these secondary characters. So we're asking for 10 minor characters using the archetypes, and this is some of the rewording we had to do the other day. It stopped giving them names and roles in the story, so we wanted to make sure we put that in there now. Before I click it, so we're just going to check one of these real quick. So Emily, long brunette hair. So it's going to give us now her Enneagram type and her speaking style. Let's rewrite it. Okay, long brunette hair, Enneagram type 7. And it gives her speaking style, energetic and enthusiastic, her motivation, and her flaw right here. So this one came out really good. Copy that since I changed a little bit. I like to give these to my class attendees. If you've been in my class, you have seen me use this doc a number of times. If you're new to Story Engine, what I recommend is you create a doc, whether it's in Google Doc, you can actually do a project inside Sudowrite. I have both versions. But this is a list of all of the things that I tend to use repeatedly. So you'll have my rewrite prompt. This is my prompt for ChatGPT for my outline to give me some writing style suggestions. My prompt for rewriting the outline from Story Engine. I'm going to copy that real quick. So I highly recommend whenever you're in classes and people give you docs and everything, or even just saving stuff from the Slack community, have your own place to store all of those that you can frequently reference. Oh, I did not do the settings. I'll have to adjust my prompt. Normally I'll ask for an extended list of settings, and it'll give me 10 settings that fit the story. This is good. We don't need to waste any more time on this. Everything is great right now. It did not put the archetypes in, so we'll have to keep messing with our prompt. But we are going to generate the outline. This is another thing they're going to fix. As of right now, if you go in and select one of these, it doesn't show you which ones you've selected. So they are going to fix that. But I am going to use Story Circle. Only because it's related to short stories. Yep, this isn't the way it should come out. So this isn't how I do my short stories, but I have a whole other class on that. So we aren't going to mess with changing it up either. And I'm just going to make sure the rewrite box works here. Okay. So again, you can thumbs up or thumbs down. All right, let's rewrite the outline. And just double checking, making sure everything works for y'all. That way, whenever they release to all Sudowrite users, we will have found any flaws for y'all. And y'all can just enjoy it. So I really do like it, especially my favorite thing is just being able to easily jump. Y'all know, instead of doing that lengthy scrolling that we had to do left to right, when I need to go back to my style, because of course you want to change your style up per chapter as needed. So now I can just click into style real quick and jump to that portion. So rewrite is working well there as well. And you can see down here, once all of this is finished and we're actually ready to start, we can now, this would be the section that was there at the top right of Story Engine. Now we can add our chapters. So 2 navigation portions. Here to add a doc, and then this one at the bottom. And those two, it's my understanding, those two are the ones that make the actual link, like saying, okay, this document right here is attached to chapter 3 of the outline versus that one at the top that I was talking about. It doesn't actually link. It's more of a way to merge things. I can see that being very beneficial later on once we have the hang of this new version, new layout. I can see that merging one being very useful to use kind of like chapter glue. So if you have your chapter 2 done, you have your chapter 2 beats and everything. Now you're ready to start your chapter 3. I can see that being an easy way to continue things. But it's something I would have to play with to actually show people. And I'm going to go ahead and stop this because we aren't going to do anything. I just wanted to show y'all the user interface. Actually, I can't stop it. Okay. You can do a hard refresh. Okay. So yeah, do your browser refresh if for some reason you actually absolutely need something to stop and you can't cancel it. So like I said, you have your navigation here. We have 5 chapters in the outline, so that gives us those. Or you can do the version down here, like the normal story engine where you create your chapter. Let's create chapter there. And now we have it here. And let's just do chapter 1 this way. And just see how it comes out. And we can start with generating beats and prose. And again, that's all the same. But as the reminder, my personal preference for my workflow would be if I'm generating prose for chapter 3 and I want to generate another round of prose, I would do the second dot to keep them separate. Another thing I like right now is you can actually change your title right there. And so right now we still have it here, right? Chapter 3 and chapter 1. I've named it the event, so I'm just going to click out of it. And it changes it over here. So this would be a good way if you wanted to keep track of, let's say you're just using normal chapter numbers, but this is your second version and you're doing it with best prose this time. Well, there you go. That's now your chapter 3 best prose version. So overall, I'm really liking this new thing. We still need to play around with it. Another bug we've noticed was we don't actually have access to our chat feature right here, which is something else that is coming. And I can actually show y'all that real quick. Might give me the error. Oh. So this is the chat feature. And again, this is still in beta. I'm looking forward to this. I don't find it quite so useful right now. So I just asked it a question because that doc was a nonfiction story on serial killers in Italy. And it's saying the passage doesn't specify how many serial killers have been captured, and it does reference the ones that I mentioned in that document. In all of these. This chat feature will really come in handy, though, once it connects to the story engine documents, because then we can reference the characters' descriptions, perhaps like the character arcs, making sure it was maintained. This is something I'm looking forward to actually playing around with later. So that is it. I hope y'all enjoyed this and found it useful. Like I said, I wanted to give an overview so y'all saw that heads up. I have been trying to do that in my classes, but now even more people can see it, and y'all won't be shocked in 2 or 3 weeks whenever you log in and hey, you're not in regular story engine. So it is now Story Bible. For some of us, you'll see us showing it in classes during Arthur hours or the 101s and 201s and such. Now y'all understand that y'all will have it too soon, and I hope y'all enjoy it. Y'all have a good day. Bye, everyone.